Good evening, everybody. It is Monday night, and we are racing at SARCO once again. RS01, round number 6 at Silverstone. And you'll see that in the wings we've got Stephen, who's going to be manning up the director cameras, and Stain, who's decided to come and join us in the commentary box. So Stain will be joining Stephen now, and then later on when we go into the Bravo tier, Stain will be joining me. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you this evening?
All good, Del.
Doing well, man. Thank you.
Silverstone, what a great track.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's one of the most historical races we could actually have on Silverstone. I believe the Alpha Boys are going to be quite quick here this evening. So, yeah, can't wait to actually watch the race, commentate on the race, and hope it's a clean and smooth running tonight.
So I know that some of the practices that the guys have been doing, that they're saying that the race pace might be a low 155, with the qualifying possibly going into a 152. So we're going to have to wait and see it. And if that's the case, my qualifying ain't so bad, but I might be okay with race pace.
Yeah, I know the qualifiers are going to be quite tricky today with the one lapper. So you've got to make sure that your tires are up to temperature, the right amount of fuel, and just hope you get that clean lap, no traffic in front of you, and no mistakes. That's the most important tonight.
Luckily, Silverstone is quite a wide open track, so quality will not be as important as some circuits. You can actually take and rise quite nicely through the field at Silverstone, so let's hope for a good race.
Yeah, 100%. So, guys, the format this evening is the one-lap flyer as per normal with a little bit of a longer lap. The guys are going to be really looking for those open gaps to get that one qualified in and dusted. And then 22 laps around Silverstone. It's going to take a lot of concentration. We know that it's quite cool in the beginning. There's a bit of a hot spell in the middle, then it cools off again. So tire choice is going to be very key here this evening.
Definitely. The right tires is going to be your key moment. Other guys are going to run softs. Other guys are going to run hards. Softs, yeah, you got that possibility of destroying them in the beginning, and then the last little bit, your softs are not going to hold out. And then you got your hards. They're going to be perfect in the beginning, and then once the track cools down, your hards are going to slip away a little bit. So you've got to have a give and take situation here tonight. So it's going to be a tricky one to decide what is your role and what are your choices.
Right, guys. So I do see that they have started in the background. So I'm going to say adios for now. We'll see you on the track, and thank you. We'll see you in a little bit.
Sweet, though. Good luck.
Good luck with the race, guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, preparation is going to be key. I mean, if the guys did the prep before the race, then strategy should be shouldn't be too much of an issue. But,
no, definitely.
It's going to be interesting to see what the guys come up with.
But you always have that little bit of a hiccup, because when you are busy practicing in the lobbies with other guys, you have your little hiccups, but you pray so hard that you don't have those hiccups in your race. And 9 out of 10, you still get those little hiccups in that race. So you've got to be prepared for either way. If you have a little bit of, if you qualify mid-pack, you've got to take it easy. I know the guys sometimes misread the braking points. So yes, it's going to be a very difficult race, because there are some very tricky parts on the track. And yeah, touching those curbs are going to be very, very deadly.
No, absolutely. But if you've done some time with the track conditions changing, you've got more or less an idea of what the tires do compared to the track temperatures, then half the battle is won.
No, definitely.
If you can keep it clean and pick up the pieces, you should be in a strong position.
No, definitely. If you just have that keyword, clean race, then you should be sorted tonight. But it's so difficult, especially in the Alpha lobby. All the guys are fast. Everyone wants to be in the front, because that first corner is going to be carnage. If the guys don't respect each other and respect this track, they are going to come short.
The problem with that first move
Really?
Great to see the guys.
No, I'm not going to be able to. Okay. So yeah, so right now we will. So we're busy watching stalls right now. One of the crazy rabbits, or racing rabbits. So let's see what he's able to do. We still see a few of the guys still in the pits. Marius is one of the guys to watch out for tonight. I believe he's going to be super quick, yeah. But we don't scratch out Jake's. Dylan, he's been quite quick. Rockstar Mall, he's been quite quick. And then Christo has been very surprisingly quick all season. So it's going to be a very interesting to see what is his time's going to be like, because we've seen him in the wet, we've seen him in the dry. So let's see what he can do at Silverstone.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Nonetheless, I don't know too much the background of the drivers.
No, it's
the pace they run and the general picking order. But regardless, I think it's going to be an exciting race.
No, it is.
That first corner is going to be key, because you've got quite a wide entry.
Yes.
The tapers will close up on you quite quickly. So if you've got 2 or 3 guys going side by side into the first corner, gonna be very exciting.
No, definitely. Because the track limits.
Schultz just went into the wall, lost the rear end, and made hard contact with the wall.
So he's not going to be able to get in a qualifying time. So that's going to be a bit of a shame for him to start at the back of the grid. We're busy watching Terry right now, so let's see the Super King V8 Sprint Master. Let's see what he can do with Reynolds. And as we see,
under acceleration, he's got quite a happy rear end. So,
yeah,
it should handle quite well if you can keep it under control.
So let me see. Jake's has put in a time of 154.0. And then Terry's just put in a 154.8, so quite very close there in the beginning stages. And then we have PB putting in a time of 154.1. So they are all very quick here today.
Yeah, 600 is behind Jake. That's really close in the front.
Yeah, no, that's like a slip on the brake. That's all you need.
Yeah, no, definitely. A little bit of an oversteer moment coming out of a corner that'll lose you that time.
Yeah, a little bit maybe even too soon on the brakes. Maybe a little bit hesitant. You have no idea. So, but to put in times like that right now, Eddie's the guys are quick.
No, that is super close. Rock went up there with a 154.2. So he's still less than 2/10 behind Jake. It's very close up front.
Yeah, no, that's why they called the Alpha Lobby for Sirius. No, these guys put in the time, the effort, and then we see Scott losing it. Oh,
he didn't come into the wall there.
Man,
but that's going to compromise his quality.
Yeah, he's going to lose about a second there at least. But still, rather just finish the lap. Get your time in. There is already stalls that hasn't been able to put a time on the board. So a bit of a moment there for him.
Well, it's going to make the race more interesting if you've got the fast oaks starting from the back and coming through the field.
Oh, and then we see him lose it again. Oh, just maybe pushing.
Or just pushing too hard, yeah.
Yeah, maybe just pushing too hard. Jeez.
Let's see where he ends up. 15 seconds off pace. That's not going to do anything. But at least he's got a timing. So.
Yeah, he's got a timing on the board, but sure. I think he's going to be far down the order, so he's going to have quite a bit of work to do tonight. So, let's see Quicksilver, Uncle Dirkie.
He's always a threat. You can't discount him at any time.
No, definitely. Look, this is racing. You never ever say this person's going to win, because it just comes to that one little mistake. These cars smell a barrier and they have suspension damage, so these cars are very brittle. Yeah, you gotta have respect for these cars, because they are super quick, and when you hit the wall, it's hard.
Yes, yes. And they do tend to rotate with a mid-mounted configuration.
Yes, no, definitely. So it looks like Quicksilver is now starting his out lap.
And he's using the full circuit. He's pushing.
He is using the full circuit there. As you see, he's got 8.5 liters of fuel in, so he'll have plenty of fuel left over there.
Keeping
Rather
it
have that.
so far.
Yeah. $253 kilometers down that straight. Quite quick.
He's keeping it together quite nicely so far. No funny moments. He's keeping it all together.
Keeping it there for now. And as we see, Dylan does a 155.2.
It's not the best of laps. He's about 1 second behind Jake's.
Yeah, 1.1 seconds behind Jake's. So he's going to be mid pack there. So that's going to be a bit of a tricky one there for him.
So he's going to have to careful into that first corner, yeah.
That first corner is going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, Dirk looks to be under control. He's doing very well so far.
Yeah, no mistakes yet. That's the one thing with qualifying. You're always trying to be quick, but you're also trying to not push yourself too much. You would rather get that lap in and be on the time board and not sacrifice your time.
Yeah, the thing is, the guys with the low fuel tend to push a little bit hard, and then they overdrive and compromise lap times. So Mr. Dirkie went first. Wow, with 53.6.
153.
Well done.
Jeez. But Morris is still on the track. So this is a moment to see. We know he's done 152s, but has he had a clean lap? That is the question.
Let's see what he does.
A 153.3. Sure. The guys are quick. Yeah, they are very quick. And it looks like Christo is still on his lap. So let's see what he can put in. Also being very quick through the whole season.
The delivery on that car is awesome. Green and gold. Oh, where did this thing go?
Yeah, so there we go. So Christo went third. He did a 153.9. Wow.
Oh, that's bad.
So we have Marius, Quicksilver, Christo, Jakes, EB, Rockstar Malt, Terry, Dylan, Scott, BRM, Marius, and Stolz. The two guys that haven't been able to put in a time. Well, we saw Stolz lose it and hit the wall, but we didn't see Marius. So hope he didn't do a mistake there. But as you can see, Sector 1, the guys are very close there. Sector 2, they are still close. So yes, it's very marginal. It's like 100th of a second there.
Interestingly, Christo's got the quickest first sector time.
He does. He has the quickest second time. But as you can see, he loses a bit of time in Sector 2. So that's where it cost him a bit.
Maybe had a bit of a moment.
Yeah, man.
So I was lining up on the starting grid.
Yeah. Then they do their rolling start.
Will it be a short rolling start or a full lap?
Full lap, full formation lap.
Okay, so we'll have a good opportunity to heat up some tires.
Yes.
which is
Yes.
a good thing to do on Silverstone, considering the
It's,
speeds that take through the corners.
yeah, and especially with the weather slots, the track is a little bit cold, and then all of a sudden it gets like this heat spike, and then it starts getting cooler during the end of the race. So it is going to be a very tricky race to be watching this evening.
You have to see how the guys manage the conditions. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, who's and like we were all talking about those tire selections. Who's gone for what? Who's gonna go with softs, and hopefully it's gonna last, or are you gonna go into the pits, make that tire change?
Is there a compulsory pit stop? Can you
Yes.
go without pitting? Is there one
No.
compulsory pit stop?
There's one compulsory pit stop, so you need to put fuel, do tires, you have to do something. But yes, afraid so. It just makes the race a little bit interesting.
I'm just wondering what the guys will do with the track temperature changing. Would they run lower temps for when the track temperature climbs, or will they actually change tires and pit again when the temperature stops dropping? It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting what the guys decide. Who's gone on the hards, who's gone on the softs, who's going to try and get that bit of a lead, do maybe a little bit of a tire change, or who's going to stick it out with one set of tires. That is the question.
Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell.
Guys are weaving furiously in the front, get them temperatures into those tires.
Yeah.
Some awesome liveries on track there, call it track.
Oh, definitely, with Team Silverback leading the pack, and then we have Quicksilver still threatening in the championship, in the drivers' championship and constructors. So yes, there is no real winner yet. There's still another 2 more races, I think, if I'm correct. Another 2 more races, and then a decider will have to be made.
So they're running close up front.
They are very close between Quicksilver, Jakes, and I think Rockstar Mold. They are all in the championship there. But I do know Morris is in the lead.
Well, it keeps the guys motivated to push right to the end. It's great. Great for
No,
the
definitely.
and great for the racing.
Yeah, let's see what are the championship points right now. Standings. So yes, so we have Quicksilver with 400 points, and then we have Team Rockstar Mob with 400 points in the constructions. So that is very, very close there. And then we have Marius with 280 points, Quicksilver with 244, and then Christo with 177. So yes, this championship is not over. It's still a long way to go.
So we...
And as we see, we are about to go racing. Waiting till the line. And there we go. Race on. We have a race now. Let's see. No disconnection still.
Dirkie is about half a second back. The rest of the bunch following close by.
Doesn't look like there's any mishaps. It's a clean race. That's what we like to see.
It's great so far. Guys did well. All made it through cleanly.
Yeah, no one's changed positions just yet. But as you see, Morris is under attack there, ready by Quicksilver. So, taking the inside, just shutting the door there.
That was close. Great from
Quicksilver. Quicksilver just seeing if he's going to have that little bit of space, but Morris shut that door so quickly, not even the draft knew where he was going. But Christo is right behind us also, so he's touching that curb is so dangerous.
Yeah, that is really tricky.
And as we see there, it
Somebody went
looks like
correctly, the blue and white car.
it.
Very wide.
Yeah, it looked like it was Scott, probably.
So the order so far is Marius in first place, Quicksilver in second, about half a second back. Then we've got Jakes about a second behind Dirkie, followed by Rock, BP, Terry, Dylan, Scott. Sorry, I don't know, TSC. I don't know the name.
Yeah, it's Scott. It's Scott and Souls.
Okay. Somebody went in the pits now. I don't know.
Yeah, we see that it looks like that's Souls. Yeah. There's quite a bit of damage. I saw Christo drop down the order there, so I think he did a little bit of a mistake there. So that was a bit of a shame between BR and Marius. I don't think there was any contact there. If you actually ask me, I just think it was a little bit of an error that Christo made. It looks like Scott has got already a penalty there.
I see Jakes, he's catching up to Dirkie at some pace.
Yeah, he's got a 1 second penalty. Track limits are so tight on this track. But yes, so it looks like Team Silverback have got them in a little bit of a sandwich here tonight. But Quicksilver looks
very hard in the front. He's so close.
Yeah, he's super close.
And Jakes is slowly catching up to the two. While they
and then Rockstar Mall right behind that. So Jakes and Rockstar Mall just waiting for that little bit of a mistake. Where last race, Jakes was very, very cautious, and he ended up winning the race for hanging back and just being patient. As we know, Uncle Jakes is he's always very patient and always there in the pack.
Yeah, he's always had a very clever approach to his racing.
He has.
So that's why he's so successful. He's one of the top racers in any. Oh, somebody just went off there.
Yeah, they look like Terry. Terry losing the rear end there a little bit. Just a little bit of pressure. Don't know if that was a little bit of pressure or just not concentrating or just a little bit too eager on the accelerator.
He's definitely going to have some damage though.
Yeah, I think that's Terry out of the race. He's gone.
That's a pity.
Yeah, we are down to 10 drivers right now.
But Dylan
as you see,
at the moment, he is 5 seconds off the lead.
Yep, 5 seconds.
The top four is chasing each other hard.
They are.
Dirkie going on
trying to go around the outside.
He's going to make the stick.
Oh, he's going to have the inside line.
Oh, awesome move, Dirkie. That's brilliant racing, guys. And Jake's going to follow through, looks like it. Jakes, you keep it tight, Yo, guys are chasing each other very hard.
These guys are on a mission. So right now it's going to be Morris now putting the pressure on Quicksilver, aka Dirkie. Oh, and they lose. Morris loses it. No, it's Jakes.
Oh, that's a massive pile-up.
Looked like there was a bit of contact. Oh, with the two teammates. Man, that was a bit. Sorry about that. With that little mistake, it pushes now Dylan and PB into second, Dylan into third, Scott into fourth.
How quickly things change, eh?
Just one mistake. That's how close these guys are behind each other. It takes them one little mistake.
And just like that, Dirkie's got a 5 second lead.
Yeah.
He's got no pressure on himself at the moment.
Yeah, he's got no traffic. I think Morris and Jakes are probably going to come into the pit. I'm sure they have some damage there.
Well, Jakes T-boned Marius at some speed, so damage would be quite bad.
And then we lost another driver. Who did we lose? Looks like it was Rockstar Mall.
No, Rockstar is out, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pity that Opel dropping out.
So we are down to 9 drivers. We had 11 drivers. We are now down to 9 drivers. We are on lap 5. Wow, this is going to be a long race.
And Marius went into the pits. Jake's kept on. Jake's kept going, so we don't know what the condition of his car is at the moment.
So maybe Jake's didn't make contact with Marius, and Rockstar Mall made contact with Marius, because it doesn't look like.
Jake's definitely made contact. I don't know what the extent of contact
made, yeah.
But Jake definitely went to the side of Marius.
Yeah, because I'm busy looking at Jake's car right now. It doesn't look like there is any damage to his car. So
might be a little bit of lag that I saw, yeah. His car does look untouched, so hopefully it doesn't have any damage.
But yeah, so now we are busy watching Dylan, and he's going to start putting pressure onto PB, which is, he's like under a second behind PB, so he's going to be putting a ton of pressure. But right behind that we have Tyler Scott in 4th place, so he's going to be in that lower hunt for a podium finish here tonight. But it's still a long way to go.
So Marius lost 48 seconds in that pit stop.
Yeah, 48 seconds. So yes, with the amount of damage that he had to his car, yeah, that's just unfortunate.
But at least he keeps on going. I mean, it's never over until the fat lady sings.
No, definitely. We've already had cars start from the back of the grid in a pile-up, still going to finish and still win it at the end of the night. So yes, it is going to be very interesting. Who's joined us? I can't really see who's joined us.
Well, Dirkie is running away in the front. He's opened up the gap to 6.8 seconds now.
Yeah.
So he's just cruising, opening up the gap.
He is opening that gap very slowly.
Well, he doesn't need to push. He's got a comfortable gap, and it looks like he's got a pace advantage, so he can just do his thing.
Yeah, it's still a long race, so for him backing off, he also can't back off too much, allowing Marius to jump him in the pits. That's the last thing that you need, is to Marius to just get that momentum going again, and then he starts, and then all you know is Marius is right behind him. So yeah, you got to also be careful. You don't want to push too much, but you don't want to slack down also too much. So you got to just keep on racing your own race. Make sure you do those lap times consistently the whole time. And
yeah, the focus, yeah, because if you relax too much, you tend to start making mistakes.
No, definitely. And
it's to stay focused, but not make any mistakes.
No, definitely.
These three, they look like they are keeping the gaps more or less constant.
Yeah, it looks like Dolan has closed up the gap a little bit. It looks like only 100th of a second that he's closed up there. But yeah, and it looks like he's just caught up almost another 100th just in that turn. So yes, that gap is closing.
It's definitely closing, yeah.
A little bit of a flash of the lights there, just to say, I'm coming for you.
A bit of mind games played by Dylan there, trying to pull the attention somewhere else.
Trying every trick in the book.
Can we go back to Jake's? Because as it stands at the moment, he's lost 2 seconds since coming out of the pits to Dirkie. So I don't know if he's got some issue or he's just pacing himself.
I don't think Jake's went into the pits.
No, he hasn't got into the pits yet. But
no.
he's lost 2 seconds to the overall lead, so I was expecting him to maybe close up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, let's see. He's 12.1 seconds behind Tyler Scott. So let's see if we can close up that gap. Let's see how much damage he really has on that car, because to me it doesn't look like he has much damage on that car.
If we go on board, will we be able to see telemetry on the car condition or not?
I do not think so.
I don't think so, yeah.
No.
I can't really see if there's any damage.
No.
But I mean, if you can look at the inputs, it's not pulling to a side, or the car's not crabbing or anything, so
No.
normal.
That's right.
No top speed disadvantage or anything. The car looks like it's pulling strong. Yeah, so I don't think there's any damage.
I also don't think there's any damage. If there is, there's very little, and he's just driving around it right now. Because I think the pit stops were still a little bit too early to survive that whole race in the beginning there. So it's going to be...
Or it can just be that Dirkie is in a zone and he's just running some seriously hot pace in the front.
No, definitely. Well, right now we're busy seeing his lap times, the 155.2. And they'll be seeing Morris is on a 155.1. So he is quick, but Morris has been pushing the car. So Morris is the quickest car right now on the track. But Christo is doing a 155.6. There are only 3 drivers to be doing the 155s right now.
Yeah,
because I can see Jake's doing a 157. I'm sure he's got damage to that car, because he was saying 155 race pace. So I'm sure he's got some damage to that car.
Maybe it's just a little bit of top end that it's lacking, or a little bit of down.
A little bit of aero damage, yeah.
But he's definitely 2 seconds a lap slower at this stage.
No, definitely.
But yeah, Marius is doing well, trying to fight back. He should be closing up on the guys in front in about 5 laps time.
Oh, and we just lost Marius.
Oh.
We just lost Marius.
Would that be a disconnection though? I don't think it rage quit.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not so sure what actually happened there.
Yeah, that's
man.
Down to 7 racers.
7 races. Man. So Quicksilver is now down to 9 seconds. And looks like
Scott is chasing down Dylan yet, I can see.
Yeah, it looks like
down to BP. And he's getting pressure from Scott here.
Yeah, because I see Dylan's last lap was a 157.3, so he must have made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, now Scott is going to put some pressure, so he's not going to be able to run the lines that he wants to. It's going to just compromise his race pace at this stage.
But Dylan, the race driver, as we all know, he knows how to suck it up and just keep his head down and just race his own race. As we see him, he's trying to break the slipstream there a little bit. He doesn't want to give too much slipstream to Tyler Scott.
They did open up that gap a little bit now, so
yeah,
he has taken some pressure off himself. Jake's is definitely losing some time. He's now 14 seconds behind Scott at this stage.
I mean, that's so sad about that accident, just losing the drivers like that. Having a full week, putting all that time and effort into the race, and it came down to losing the rear end of your car, and the drivers had nowhere to go. So it's very, very unfortunate.
unfortunate, but it's unfortunately part of racing, and that's what we have to deal with on a daily basis. Oh, and what did
And,
Scott do there?
yeah.
Just went off track.
I saw that Tyler Scott is going off the track a little bit. Don't worry, I think Tyler Scott's going to send Silverstone the ball for cutting his grass. It looks like Krista is busy catching stalls here because he's now 9 seconds behind there. I was busy watching him. He was about 10 seconds behind Stoll, so he is catching him very slowly. He's also in the 156s. The only driver to be in the 155s is Quicksilver. So, yeah, he's been very constant in the 155s.
He's averaging at the moment.
Yeah. So, and the other drivers are all in 156. Jake's still in a 158. So he's battling a little bit with that car.
I think he's got aero damage and his tires are taking the punishment at the moment.
I'm sure, because it's lap 10 already, so we're almost halfway into the race.
I think his tires are waiting to get good.
And if I am correct, I think this is the hottest time of the track right now, so the guys with any soft tires would have to just back off a little bit so they don't overheat their tires. And then it becomes...
Stoll is about 7 seconds behind Jake's and catching him, so you have to watch that battle as well.
And there goes Jake's into the pits. So, yeah, he's in the pits, and there comes Stoll's now down the main straight. So he is going to get that position.
He's pitted already, I think.
Yes, Stoll has pitted, so it's going to be a bit of a race.
I wonder how much time Jake's going to lose preparing the damage.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's going to come out at 2 minutes 15 seconds so far. No, yeah, 57 seconds. So, yo, man. It is, let's see the map of the track. BRM. Okay. So, yes, so that's the gap right now between the first. Wow, that is going to be a long race. Because there comes the leader down the main straight right now. So, Uncle Jakes has to pull a miracle right now if he wants to catch up with the rest of the boys there.
Well, he's got about 10 laps and he's going to have to do 2 seconds a lap to catch up to Christo.
Yeah. Well, look, like we said, the fat lady hasn't sung yet, so we always keep positive. Make sure that the guys can finish the race, because it's so nice when a full lobby finishes the race and the guys don't drop out like this. Yeah, you do have that one race to throw away in a season. So yeah, so just make sure the rest of the other races you do well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, season can't be won by one race.
Yeah.
So just do the best you can every race. And hope for the best.
That's what we can hope for. So it looks like Dylan's pulled a bit of a gap on Stoll. So there we go. He's down to a 1.3 seconds. So Dylan has been able to get away from Scott right now. But he doesn't. Yeah, it's still around about. I think when we looked, it was around about the 2.4 second. So PB has pulled also a little bit of a gap on Dylan. Oof, touching that curb is so dangerous.
Yeah, they're taking chances. But I mean, it's they're pushing. You can see they're pushing.
No, they are. If you're not racing, you're not pushing.
There you go. Okay, they are taking chances.
No, definitely. Krista has closed up that gap now to 5.6 seconds. He was down to 8 point something seconds, so He has made up some ground there. He's on a 155.5 right now. So yes, he is racing to catch up there, because he is like 40 seconds behind the leader. So that is quite a gap to catch up, but not impossible.
Not possible at all, yeah. I see Dirkie has relaxed a little bit. He's into the 56s now. It might just
Yes.
be a mistake on this lap. You'll see on the next one.
Yeah. I think that's his first lap that he's actually put in a 156.1. So maybe
the amount of time he's taken out of DP in the last couple of laps has shrunk as well. I don't think he's pushing as hard as he was. So I think he's just taking it easy to the end now.
I think he also knows where the guys are all sitting, so there's no real reason for him to be pushing as hard. So I think he's just taking a bit of a breather, catching his thoughts, rethinking his whole strategy. Or has his strategy still stayed the same?
He's just looking after the tires.
Yeah, well, if he's looking after his tires right now, 156 pace, I don't see why not. There's no real reason to be pushing that hard, because he has opened up the gap now. It's now down to 11.9 seconds.
Yeah.
Still 7 cars circulating here around Silverstone. Round 6. We did have 11 cars. We are now down to 7 cars, and it looks like Jakes has closed up the gap there.
Not by much.
No, he's
a couple of times.
Because
he was 22 seconds behind. He's now 22 point some odd seconds. So it's more or less the same.
So there we see he did a 155.1. So now I'm sure he did have a bit of damage to that car, because now he's in back full race mode. As you see, Quicksilver doing 154.7.
Yeah, so he maybe just made a little bit of a mistake, or like you said, just took a breather.
Yeah, well, I would. If I had a gap like that, I would take as much breather spots as I can.
Christo and Jakes are running very similar lap times.
They are.
Christo's on 55.1 and Jakes is on 55.1. So they are pushing hard at the stage.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to close up that gap a little bit to get a better finishing position right now. Because like that, those points.
Christo closed the gap to Stoll by a second. It's now 4 point some odd seconds. So
yeah. Yeah, he's now 4.3, so he has closed up that gap quite a bit.
And these 3 boys are probably the only guys on track that can see the guy in front of them.
Yes, and I think these guys still need to pit, so they still have a pit stop to do.
Oh, okay.
These guys still need. I think from 4th place still need to make their pit stops. So this is going to be very interesting to see where they're all going to land up. Who's going to jump who in the pits? Whose mechanic is performing at their best?
See, everybody picked up the pace as well, because the only person doing 56s at the moment is Scott. The rest are all in the 55. Derek is in the 54.7 still, so he's still pushing.
Yeah.
But some of that pace is probably due to a few load wheeling down.
What are we on? Lap 15 right now of 22 laps. Still a long way to go. Those last few laps feel like an eternity.
Full third of the race still to go.
Yeah.
Durkee is opening up the gap now again. It's 13 seconds the deficit. So Durkee is in a league of his own at this moment.
No, definitely. He's been unstoppable. Making the move on Marius, man, making it stick. And then that's when the race just fell apart there for Marius. So and Rockstar Mall. So yes, that was a little bit unfortunate. But for the rest of the guys, it's all done them well. With PB on second place right now, Dylan in a third, Scott in a fourth place, and Stoles in a fifth place. But will Krista be catching Stoles for that fifth place? That is going to be a question to be asking, because right now Krista is lapping 200s quicker than Stoles right now.
Yeah, the gap is down to 4 seconds almost exactly.
Yeah.
So he's definitely closing. Couple of tenths to lap. He's got some damage on that car. You can see the left front fender is a bit damaged.
Yeah, I think he did repair that in this project, because it doesn't show repair. So if there is a little bit of damage, you'll still see it. Yeah, that's only with project cars.
Yeah, excuse my ignorance. I haven't played this game in years. So I don't know the in and out of project cars all that well anymore.
No, that's fine.
I'm tempted to get it again. So,
I think you should give everything a bash at least once.
Well, I did play quite a bit with Durkee and Jakes. I don't know if you know Turbo Shaw.
I know Turbo Shaw quite well. Yes,
I used to race with all of them back in the day.
Back in the day.
Not that long ago, for maybe 3 years or so, but yeah, now I've used to race these boys. We had awesome battles on track, and yeah, I'm thinking of getting it again and joining these. Racing looks super fun. And me and Jakes has got a long time rivalry that I think I should take up with him again.
Another person, Mark Jakes. So it looks like Dylan has closed his gap up now. He's now down to a 1.1 second. So I think the track is now starting to cool down. But yes, the guys still have to do their pit stop. So this is going to be very interesting to see. Are they going to be able to close their
last lap? BP's last lap was a 56.4, and Dylan was a 55.3. So that's 1.1 second off on that lap alone.
Yes. So it looks like he's found a bit of pace now. I think with the track cooling down now, it's now helped him with the tires, because that's been a problem factor since the start of the show, is the heating up of the track. So it looks.
We also must take into account is these gens are run all different setups, and some setups would be much more lenient on tires than other setups. So we might have a case where BP is running a little bit higher tire wear, and this plays into Dylan's hands now a little bit.
Yes, no, definitely, and also the fuel loads are not as heavy as what they started with.
No, exactly. Let's see how it plays out. Dylan is definitely catching up.
But there we just missed that. Krista taking fifth place from Stoles.
Yeah, we missed that. Stoles must have made a mistake.
Yeah, because his last lap was a 2:04, so he must have made a mistake.
Can we go to his car and see if he's got any damage?
Let's see.
All looks straight. He must have just spun.
Oh, cockpit. Doesn't look like there's any damage yet.
Everything looks fine.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much damage to the cars. But Tyler Scott still with a time penalty, so he's got a 1 second time penalty, so he has to make sure that he finishes ahead of with a plus of a 1 second ahead of Christo. And right now Christo is busy catching him as well. So that gap was a 22-second gap. He's now brought it down to an 18.2.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough time, unfortunately, for Chris to do. Like you say, but it's never over. You don't know what's going to happen.
Durkee, PB, Dylan, and Scott still need to pit. So,
that's gonna be interesting to see where they all feed out of the pits.
So Christo is still going to be racing full on here. He's going to try his best to actually try and catch up. But as we see there, Dylan and PB. Dylan waiting to the pits.
Oh, so he's pitting now.
Yeah, he's pitting in lap 18. So let's see where he's going to fall out, because there comes Scott now down the main straight. So he's going to go down one place. But is he going to be a victim to Christo? Did Christo do enough? That is the question we're going to be asking. And I don't think he's done enough. Because Christo is coming down the main straight right now.
And Dylan is
so he's... Yeah, and it's very close. So I don't think he did enough.
I'll just see who's got a better pace for the last couple of laps. I think it's 4 laps left, huh?
So right now, if the way you see it, Dylan could finish in second, Christo install a podium position there. But that's, again, if anyone does a mistake here, that is going to be the key point of that mistake, and how bad is that mistake.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because there we are with PB, so he's going to be pitting very soon.
Well, Jake's caught stall by 5 seconds. The gap is down to 15 more or less.
Yeah, so it's 15.2 now. But still not enough.
Not enough yet, yeah. We know Jakes has pitted. Has Stoll pitted yet?
Yeah, Jakes has pitted, Stoll has pitted, Christo has pitted. And there it looks like PB's coming into the pits right now.
Coming into the pits now, yeah.
So now, let's see. Is Scott is not pitting. So Scott is bringing it down to that last lap. And there is Dylan. Has he done enough to jump ahead of PB?
PB, I think, will come up ahead of Dylan.
37.209 to 18. And here they come down the main straight. PB just leaving the pits. No, Dylan has jumped him. Christo is right behind him as well. But now Christo's tires are all up to temperature on the inside, but PB's got the inside line.
And they're going for the cutback, is he not? No, he's going to try it on that outside.
He's going to try and hold it.
Yeah.
But now the slipstream.
Keep it clean, boys, keep it clean. Going for
And
the
then we go
inside.
jumping on the inside. No, just
got
not
that.
enough. Oh, the PB cooks it.
Yo.
Man, that was just unfortunate there. PB doing so well.
And Chris had nowhere to go.
No, because that is such a fast corner already. There is no really space to get out of the way. And then we see Quicksilver coming into the pits. He's got so much time. I think his mechanics could have a holiday.
He can have a cup of coffee before he leaves. So Dylan back up to third now.
Dylan back up to third, so he should be able to jump Scott. But now with the accident with Christo, Scott should pick up a third place here tonight.
Yeah.
Just hoping he does not do a repeat of PB. Just cooking it in that last main straight.
Just give the tires some time to heat up.
Yeah, so there we see Dylan coming down the main straight, so he should jump in. And Christo is right behind him.
Might jump in as well, yeah. But now, what's the damage on Christo's car? We have to ask that.
No, that's something we have no idea, really. I'm sure he has got a bit of damage.
He's going to have a pace deficit, and will the Oaks be able to catch up? So let's watch the gap between Scott and Christo and see. Stoll and Christo and see what the situation holds there. If Stoll opens up, catches up quite quickly, then we know that
he has got a bit of damage.
Quite a bit of damage. Yeah. Let's just watch the gap between those two and see what's happening.
This is going to be a very interesting last lap of the race. Quicksilver just been in another league tonight. A well-deserved win.
Yeah, he made no mistakes. He put the pressure on early in the race. He did everything right.
He did. And then Dylan, I think, qualifying 8th. So from qualifying 8th to putting it 2nd, not a bad result at the end of the night.
Not at all. He kept it clean, didn't make mistakes, picked up the pieces, and that's the reward. Paul definitely catching up to Christo, yeah?
He is. Just under 2 seconds there.
Well, Christo ran a 58 the last lap, and Stoll did a 55.6. So that's
5.6. Yeah, this is going to be quite interesting what actually happens here. So everyone on their last lap. So does Stoll have enough in his lower car to catch up to Christo and steal a 3rd place?
Well, he took out 2.5 seconds on the last lap. He just needs 2.5 seconds on this lap. So you will be right with him at the end of the race, if not past him. I think the gap might be a little bit too big to pass him, but we'll definitely catch up.
So he was down to a 1.9. Let's see if he's closed up that gap. Closed up the gap. Oof, looks like Christo might have just held in there. So I don't think there's too much damage for him to actually lose a 3rd place.
Well, to be honest, I think the most damage would come at the high-speed section. I think the car's going to have some top-end issues.
Yes.
I think that's where Stoll will pick up more. Through this section, yeah, I think he'll gain the most time.
Yes. So let's see, they were down to a 1.9. Oof. Don't really see much of a difference there.
2 seconds more or less, so Christo recovered nicely there.
He has covered very nicely.
And that's the end of the race. The last sector.
But it looks like PB and Jakes are having a bit of a battle there at the end of the race, but I don't think it's enough.
They're with each other. Oh, Jakes.
Yeah.
Back there.
Just running a little bit wide.
At least some action at the end of the race for Jakes there.
Yeah. So PB did jump stalls there at the end because he had the 1 second penalty. But a very, very, very good race.
No, that was a hard race, but Turkey just ran away with it.
No, he did. Let me get the guys to.
Good day, gents. Can we please have Quicksilver, Dylan, and Christo to Discord, please?
Right, so the guys should be coming to Discord to have their little race interview.
Ek kon nie die pit se daai twee rooi makers sien met dit is swak vir hulle.
Ja, ek weet nie, is die tweede keer achter mekaar wat ek nou dit wat my setup wat ek nou oefen en die setup waarmee ek reis voel heeltemal verskillend van mekaar. Die kar was so los.
Ja, maar toe julle lyk my in sy slip in gaan Dirkie se slip en toe verloor hulle teen hy vinnig gedraai.
Ja.
Jy weet dit. Jy uitgespin toe gaan ek vinnig reg.
But I'm going to be loving and leaving you, getting ready for my race.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you very much.
I'll be commentating on you as well.
Ek dink dit is hier in jou gat vas, ja.
Ek weet jy maak het Marius hart geslaan, hy het 'n handstand gedoen. Maar ek tog hy gaan plaas hy net sy brieke los dat hy eerder deurloop. Jy weet dat hy afgaan, maar toe draai hy. Ek sal nou die replay kyk. Dis maar geslaan.
En daai uitstrikkie val as jy agteraan is, né?
Ja, want ek het die ding gelap voor dit het ek agter Jakes gesit. Toe voel ek, hey, hoekom gaan
Good evening.
But nobody can hear me. There we go. Yeah. No, so I was talking about the people on the stream.
Oh, okay.
But to everybody, I am back. Holy cow, what a race. So, Stakey, let's start with you. From your point of view, obviously you were in the commentary box. How did that work out for you?
It was good fun to watch. Dirkie in the beginning put a lot of pressure on Marius, and it paid off. Unfortunately, Jakes and some other guys were involved when Marius spun it, and that obviously took all the pressure off Dirkie. He ran his own race, and he was just managed to open up the gap to almost 20 seconds, I think, at the end there.
Yeah, it was about 20. We'll give him 25 seconds.
Yeah, he was totally unchallenged. So really good race from him. And then you had a good race. Just kept it clean, picked up the pieces, and worked out well, man. Great stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was basically the strategy. I took quite a big risk. Myself and Stephen were talking before the race, and he said, "Are you going on the softs?" I said, "I still don't know," because I knew that the softs they're good in the beginning, but as soon as the sun comes out, they were overheating. And I had so much pressure from Tyler, but at the same time I was trying to catch Peter Brunt, so he ran an absolute fantastic race, and I wasn't sure where Christo was going to pop back in because he went and pitted nice and early, so I kept watching that time, and man oh man, when I came out in front of him.
We just made it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a horrible first lap. Maybe the dirty air, but I caught the curb and I was in the wall. So from then I just turned off my overlay and I just put it down into TT mode. And you came out front, and I thought I could.
No, we lost you there, Krista. I think you might have pushed mute.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Yeah, so say I thought
Yeah,
I went.
But it was PB there that got in between us, and I was like, oh no. It was like, at least tried to take him, and he spun on me. Thankfully missed him, but you were too quick. Great speed, great pace, and also to Durkee. Congrats on the win, man.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, look, I got very fortunate because those soft tires were running halfway, and I was still able to put in my fastest laps in the low 55. So it all worked out in the end. But Durkee, great race there for you, out in front, no real challenge, and just Sunday drive, roof down, and off you go.
Yeah, when I saw Marius's qualifying lap, I was a bit worried about that because I couldn't reach that. And I thought I'm going to have a difficult time. And when the race started, I could see that I can put some pressure on him, and I've tried my best to put as much pressure on him as possible. And I got a pass on him, which I also think was a lack of pass. And the first fast right-hander after that, he was behind me, and that's a different story being in front and being behind in that specific corner. And I've got an idea that might be something that caught him out. I don't know, it can be something else, but and then he had a spin, and a lot of people hit him, and it was just this disaster for everybody after that. Yeah, and from there on, I just managed my race and took the checkered flag, and I need the points, so it worked out for me. I'm very happy for first place.
100%. Look, I had the parting of the Dead Sea there, and with me coming from 8th. So by the time I got there, all of a sudden I'm in 4th place. So that was quite a nice surprise.
Yeah, it's lucky to see some new faces here in Alpha. So I think the spectators also enjoy the new faces. So congratulations to you two. You had a brilliant race. Eh?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Dick. Yeah, just
Cheers.
kept it clean, and Tyler was putting so much pressure, but all I was trying to do was just maintain those tires, just keep them cool, and then I had to just go and push 2 laps, just to keep that gap. So
yeah, I was actually watching you guys gaps all the time, and I was on the end. There was some concentration. I said, no, leave those races. We'll see afterwards what happened there. So yeah. I had to get my concentration back on the race there. No. But anyway, yeah, it looked like fun.
Yeah, it was indeed. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah.
If I can give you guys advice, go see those first 2 laps deal between Durkee and Marius. The overtake that Durkee did was absolutely brilliant. Well done, Durkee.
Oh, thanks, man. Cool.
No.
Cheers, man.
I'll be checking it out. Good luck to Bravo as well.
Thanks, Jake.
We're watching you guys.
Yeah, good luck. We're going to watch you now. Eh?
Awesome, guys. So you heard exactly what they said. We're going to just cross over to the Bravo tier. You can see that they are just loading up. Stanky, let me just get you a view so you know exactly what I'm looking at.
Okay, well now I've got a full screen of you only. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so I must remember that I have the camera. So to everyone that's on the stream, I did see that there was a comment coming through saying that there was extremely back echo. I suppose there was bad echo. Just want to make sure that that is now gone. So Tara Marburg, if you're just able to give us a big thumbs up to say yes, it is gone, that would be greatly appreciated. Lots and lots of comments coming through for the Alpha tier. Really awesome to see. I see Rudy Base, he was on there. Louis Lurtz, he was also saying hi. Tsoki Van der Vente, he was there. Marshall Steve the Flum, he came and said how's it as well as Kathy Hurd, cheering there for Terry. Sure, unfortunately Terry just lost it a little bit when I was chasing him. He was basically going through Stowe and just lost that rear. But that was quite an awesome couple of laps that we had there. Duncan saying, good luck, fellas. And unfortunately, Duncan not racing here this evening in the Bravo tier. And then Tyrant saying, it's all good now, mate. Thanks so much, Tyrant. Yeah. What I'd done is I'd left my headset microphone on, so what happens is repeats the Discord sound as well as what's happening in the lobby. So apologies for that, guys, if you did not get all of that. So Stanky, it's you and me now. Thank you so much for offering your services again this evening. We did have Nassif, who was going to drive with us. You can see, commentate in the Alpha tier. And you can see him up at the top. So he actually did make it back in time. So thank you very much for helping me out.
No, thanks for having me, man. It's always a pleasure. It's actually fun having to chat with you guys again. So thank you, my man.
Only a pleasure. And man, oh man, what a track. And sure, I'm absolutely wet from that race. Just the amount of concentration, 22 laps. It's such hard work, but I must say that this is probably the first race in a very long time that I just felt that I got into such a nice rhythm that at no point did I feel like that the car was going to snap on me. I didn't have one moment the entire race. I was making sure I wasn't locking those wheels up on the brakes. So just looking after the car, and the car ended up looking after me.
Yeah, no, it's such an enjoyable track to drive, and watching the Oaks, most of the Oaks kept it nice and clean, but there was some instances where people just ran over the curbs, and you could see the car just wanting to step on them.
Just like that.
Yeah, so that's the key. Don't run the curbs if you don't have to, and you should be okay. And easy on the throttle. I see some of the guys just spun it on the throttle in slow corners. I think that's what happened to Marius when Dirk overtook him. That happened to BP when he was chasing down Christo when you guys came out of the pits. So unfortunately, just be careful on the curbs and be careful on the throttle.
I must say, I could not have asked for a better scenario for me to come out with Peter Brunt in between myself and Christo, because all it did is just slow them down. Because in terms of the qualifying, Christo was right up there, so I was definitely worried for pace, especially going into the race. But I can see a lot of guys have come out to the track. So of the 16 that have started, there's only 2 that are sitting in the pits. So lots and lots of traffic out on track at the moment. We are currently watching Raf in his very purple RS01. We'll just follow him as he crosses the line. See that Sly Peters just got a little warning there, which means that he's right up behind someone, and that's not what you want. Is you want to be able to have a nice clean run. So there is Silverback Raf. He goes up into first place, the provisional pole for now. Johan VDV, just getting that car nicely rotated, going through the loop. Brandon DeSantos, 157.1, Memo, a 200.8. So currently 3 drivers that have qualified. There's a Batman, that's Yanni, 156.2. And you can see 2 cars coming flying here at the moment. They're going to cross the line, and that is Colin goes past, Grant goes past.
Are these guys running on the wet track, Dylan?
So they shouldn't be, unless they've just got themselves stuck in traffic. But not very fast lap times at this point. Johan VDV, there he is, cameraman Tim, a little bit confused there. And what an awesome little section this is now, coming through Beckett's, now through Chapel. You can see that rear for Johan a little bit loose there, so he wouldn't have been able to get that power on the exit of Chapel to get that drive down the Hanger Straight. And it is so important, because there are so many long straights here, that your exit speed is absolutely key.
Yeah, he's got quite a tail-happy car there, which should be really responsive on the front end. So if you can keep the rear in check, you should be able to run quite nice lap times. But if he's going to slide the car like that through the race, he's going to suffer with tyre wear.
And possibly tyre overheating. That could answer that. So it looks like Johan was just getting those tyres warmed up. So I would assume that he's on the hards. There is Louis Lutz, Insomnia. So he's now going through my favorite part of the track, now through Luffield into Brooklands. Gets the car nice and tight, and you see a lot of guys run that middle line where I like to run right up on the inside of the curb, and just as you go past that apex on the inside, or that little curb, is my acceleration point, which then helps me just float onto the outside and get flat speed all the way through there.
Yeah, this little curb on the outside of this corner is where most of the guys just touch it, so it's very, very important not to lose the car there, because it will run straight into the wall.
So I did have, I say, one little moment there where I just touched it, but I managed to just blip my foot off the throttle and was able to control it, so it worked out for me.
Best course of action there, buddy. So we've got Bert in the front with the 56.2 at the moment, but I'm not too clued up with the guys' names yet.
So yeah, that is Batman Yanni. Oh, there goes Stephen and slots it in the second place slot there.
56.9. Well done.
So Louis, he will cross the line. Where does that put him? So Louis goes fourth. I think that was Rudy coming out. We're looking to get him top 155.9. That is an absolutely cracker time here for the Bravo tier. And then last to across the line is going to be Johan VDV, and he crosses the line in 8th place. 159.5 there for him, with 1.5 minutes left to go here of the qualifying session. But it is going to be an absolutely packed house here this evening in the Bravo tier. And just remember, in terms of the formation, is that the guys will be doing one lap rolling start, and then once Rudy will give the go ahead, we will be racing 21 laps to go.
Yeah, the full formation lap gives the guys some time to heat up the tires, especially if you're on the hard tires. So let's hope the guys keep it clean in the first corner.
So I'm just having a look, and I see that we've got Dion van Heerden that's joined us saying, how's it all? How's it, Dion? Dion raced with us a couple of seasons ago, and unfortunately hasn't been with us, but started in the Bravo tier and eventually got himself into the Alpha tier. So Dion, how's it, man? We always value our members coming in and saying how's it while the racing is on. So guys, if you are still watching, do drop us a comment. We are reading those comments now. It is sometimes a little bit difficult for our commentators to read because they can't see exactly what's comments are coming through, but at least now you know that I have direct line of sight of them.
I unfortunately can't see the messages.
Ah, I always wondered if you could do that. And now I know. So there's the top qualifier. That is a Rudy Bayes for Synergy Racing, a 155.9, and then a 0.24 off the pace there. That is Yanni. Stephen 0.9 off the pace. Brandon's in 4th. We've got Louis Lutz in 5th place. Ricky B in 6th. Peter Hardeman in 7th. And 8th place is Johan VDV. Duncan, he actually said he was going to be working tonight, so awesome to see that he is here this evening. We've got the newcomer Grant. He's in 10th place with Dane in 11th, just ahead of his father-in-law Colin. Those two driving for Daycore Racing.
Watch the midfield. I can see the guys in quali were very close together, so hopefully the racing on track will be the same. I think it's going to be interesting.
Well, we do know that there have been some incredible battles throughout the season. and that was purely because the guys have been, I'd say, just giving the respect where it is due. There have been a few little incidences every now and again where you just get a little bit overexcited, but generally the racing has been really good. So while just waiting for the drivers to set up their cars, load those race setups, as well as just drop in their pit strategy. I'd actually set a tire change. I'm so glad that I didn't land up doing it, but that's why I ran as long as I could on the softs, just so I could get an idea of whether they lost. So I wonder whether Stephen was listening and decided to run those softs. It's so tricky, but it definitely does work out in the end. So there we go, that's the syncing that we were waiting for. There's the confirmation. So the guys will just pull off nice and slowly, and from there we will be doing a one formation lap. You can see Nassif at the back, taking it nice and easy. There's no point to go screaming off the start finish line. And for those who don't know where we are racing, here we go into turn number 1, which is essentially through Abbey, now the left-hander into a farm. We're going to go hard on the brakes. Down into second gear is where you need to be, just to turn it through the village. Short shift into second gear, try not to get those wheels to spin up. Then down into first is where I was going into the loop. And the only reason I was doing it is just to help get that car rotated. But then you flat here through the Aintree, then down the Wellington Straight. And the interesting.
So Dylan, you're just finishing your race. What are the guys going to encounter throughout the race? What are they?
There's different conditions. As you can see, that we do have overcast conditions now. But then mid through the track, or halfway through the race, we then have the clouds open up a bit. The track starts heating up, so it goes from a 30-degree track to a 45-degree track, and that's where your tires start going through this heating cycle. It does make it very, very snotty for those that are on the softs, but then as those clouds go down, those softs just come alive again. So it's that balance, whether you take the risk, it is without a doubt a risk, or you run the hard, make them as low as possible, try and get as much heat as possible as you can during the cold stage. You will be able to survive during the hot, but then it's at the end, and you can see that I'm pretty sure that Peter Brunt and Christo were both on the hards, because I was able to just pull away from them.
And tyre wear, would that be an issue at all, or does the softs last entire race?
No, look, so remember, I was very, very gentle and very, very soft on my tyres, not locking up. I wasn't braking as aggressively as I normally would in a sprint race, and I basically had worn them down to just under half.
Alright, so that's not too bad though. So we are at the race start at the moment. The guys are approaching the line. Oh, some guys running wide.
I think that they were just trying to avoid each other, but now we are racing. Rudy has given the go. So Rudy will now lead the field in through the first corner. And it looked like there was a little bit of a loose rear there, and then we can see in the sand trap somebody dropping down. It is Johan VDV. You called it there, Stein, is that car was looking very loose. And I actually saw that rear just snapping around as he went through that first corner.
Yeah, it's danger with having a car set up so loosely. If you are a little bit anxious and a little bit aggressive in the start, it will bite you. And hopefully you can come back and challenge the guys in front.
Yeah, so he didn't look like he lost too many places, because he is back in with the pack there. But let's just jump to the front there. So Rudy Base now leads with Yanni in second place, Stephen in shot in third, You can see Stephen running a little wide. Ooh, there goes Ricky B.
He's
So
running
he's
wide
very
there.
wide. So that might be a slowdown penalty warning.
But actually, good controlling the car, running over the curb there. I think he had no option but to open the steering. So quick thinking.
Yeah, well, I would have definitely told him to have done the same thing, because as soon as you try and pull that car back, that rear just lets go. And these cars are so low that what sometimes happens is that you basically rail slide your car on the curb, and that's part of the problem with this car.
Yeah, and being mid-mounted, it just wants to rotate on you.
So further down the field, still very congested. Louis in 8th place has got Colin and Dane right behind him, with James in 11th place. Well, there be a little look to the inside there, not close enough, but a great move there by James, managing to find his way ahead of Dane. So James now puts himself between the two Daycall Racing drivers.
A great overtake there.
Oh!
Oh! Was that Rudy that he ran into? Batman ran into the back of Rudy there. Luckily, Rudy didn't lose it, but will there be damage though
So
on that rear end of Rudy's car?
little tap like that there, I would assume that there was damage, but it all depends on how much impact there was, because the car did lift a little bit, and I just know that wing on that RS01 is basically as good as a cheese board. It is so soft.
Well, Rudy did very well to keep the car in a straight line there. He could have very easily just spun around. So you can see Batman is holding back just a little bit to give Rudy some breathing space.
No, he's definitely wanting to just regroup a little bit, just rather size up your opponent, see where he's making a mistake. But no, look like they want to go side by side through there. That is not the right place to do that.
Yeah.
So
Very brave.
Yanni is definitely going to be applying the pressure. So I think what Rudy should be doing right now is rather going now, get that pit stop done. If there is damage, get it fixed, because Yanni is definitely putting a lot of pressure on the back of him right now.
Yeah, and also give him a clear track to put down the laps that he wants to run, and he can maybe use the undercut and open up a little bit of a gap.
See Stephen running a little bit wide, which has now allowed Brandon and Santos back into that picture. We are currently watching first, second, third and fourth place, but I must say that as much as I want to just stay here, there is still battles all over, because in shot is Louis, who's chasing down Grant, and right behind Louis is James, as Louis goes a little bit too deep. James goes around the outside, coming out of club. That absolutely incredible. So a great move there for James. And we've got Memo chasing down Colin, and these two have definitely had a long history, just in terms of their racing against each other, and there's always lots and lots of friendly banter between them.
Yeah, great awareness there going through the last sector there.
Ooh, Stephen tried to sneak one up on the inside of Yanni, and I think with that inverted commas damage from Rudy, is that these two out in front are just being slowed down a little bit, and Rudy now running wide. That's going to allow both Stephen to go past him as well now. Stephen decides to rather just tuck in behind him. And I think that is... Oh, Rudy losing it. Went sideways, and he has unfortunately clipped that curb. So that has spun him off. So Rudy's going to have to be careful by rejoining that track. As you can see, so many cars now coming through.
He fell down to 6th position there. Luckily no damage. That should just regroup and then get back into the groove. But yeah, it seems like he's either got some dirty tires or he's just taking his time to get back into the rhythm.
Yeah, if I was Rudy, I would be going into the pits now, just shaking it off, getting any damage repaired, and then rather get himself focused again and put in a charge for later on.
Yeah, I would do the same.
Well, Dane having a look to the inside on Granite Slow-Mo is his PSN, but we know him as Grant. So lots and lots of racing action happening all over the track here. we are still keeping an eye on what's happening out in front, but at this stage, as Grant takes a lot of that curb on the outside, you could just see how that car was fighting for traction in both the front wheels and on the rear.
Yeah, these cars do not like curves.
And it is so strange, Stain, is that this first corner going through Abbey is what I was doing is changing down to fifth just to help get that car rotated and turned in. But I was carrying about 205 kilometers through there. And then I'd say made a mistake. I didn't shift down. I kept it in sixth. Just touched the brakes and ended up carrying 211 kilometers through there. So it seems like all of a sudden my lap time started getting better because now I was by accident found something.
Yeah, it's strange how that works, huh? But if looking at Granite now, he seems to have a lot of understeer dialed into that car. I don't know if that's just playing safe to stop the car from rotating. But he's definitely sliding the front end through the corners more.
I'll just have a look now because he might be on a controller, which is why we're getting that. Oh no, that wheel is quite controlled. I'm sure his eyes opened very, very wide there. A quick jump to first and second place as Yanni is being chased down by Stephen. And it looked like Stephen is running the same helmet color as Lewis Hamilton did over the weekend.
The rainbow helmet.
Yeah, so just having a little look inside Stephen's cockpit. So it's not quite the same, but those colors are very, very similar. And another person who's going to start feeling the pressure is going to be Brandon Santos, because just behind him, that in shot is Sly Pete. And on the side of the car, it does say prayer. So I wonder whether Pete is hoping for a prayer or has been saying some prayers.
Sorry, Dylan, can we just quickly run down to Rudy? Oh, he goes into the pits now. Does he have damage maybe? That because he fell down to 11th place.
So it might have just been because those cars were so close together, is that you do have to brake extremely late. But you so slow through that infield section because the pits do start quite early. So Rudy is inside there, so let's just jump up. Stephen within a second of Yanni. And I always felt so uncomfortable with this corner, but once you just find that marker that you use to brake, that's where that rhythm comes by. And you don't have to worry, you don't have to feel that anxiety feeling like you do going to Zolder with the first chicane.
It's the most wonderful feeling if you drive a car on a track like this and you get into that groove, like you say, you just find, whoa, what happened there? That just snapped him for no reason.
I think he might have just geared down going into third, and because that car was already pitched in, that rear just let go and said, sorry sir, I am not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, so that snapped him in very quickly. Sorry, what I was saying is on a track like this where you find that groove, and you just do lap after lap in that zone, and there's no better feeling as a racer to be in that space. Awesome.
100%. I actually landed up taking a screenshot of my times, because I think with over like 13 laps, I was within 0.6 of a second of each lap. It just got into that rhythm, and it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's a wonderful feeling.
So there has been a change of the leader out in front.
Oh, Batman's done it as well.
So that looked like that was on the brakes, because Stephen went past it and Batman was just trying to regather himself, unless there's Stephen slowing down. So I wonder whether Stephen realized that he was making trouble there. And
but a bumper car's in the front there.
Well, I think that's Brandon DeSantos to say, whatever you guys in first and second were trying to figure out, I don't want to be a part of that. So Brandon DeSantos has pushed himself through and now is up into first place, with Stephen and Yanni now are fighting back for those positions.
Well, if you run off track like that, Dylan, how long does it take you to clean the tires up, or is it fairly simple just to carry on?
No, I'd say it's about 2 or 3 corners, especially if you're going into high-speed corners like that. You're definitely going to feel that understeer.
Yeah, because I see the guys running off do take a corner or two just to get back onto speed. But they do tend to struggle in the first two corners just to get the car turned.
So Brandon De Santos has definitely taken advantage of that opportunity. And Stephen is flying now. Ooh, that looks like Yanni went off again there. So he's not having a great time now, having a drop down to 4th place.
Maybe he's lost some tire temperature and he's actually just a little bit flustered at the moment. You should just take a breather, get into the groove and start chasing down the guys again.
So Stephen and Brandon De Santos side by side coming into the Vale, and Brandon on the inside. Stephen trying to cut the undercut there, or the cut back, not the undercut, the cut back, but not in the right position. Brandon De Santos just defended that line.
Well, he's getting a lot of pressure from Stephen. Hopefully he can soak it up and it runs wide.
So he runs wide, so Stephen's going to be able to go around the outside and regain that lead.
That's good racing there from Stephen.
You could just see the different lines that the two drivers have taken, and I honestly thought that he was going to drive right up the back of him.
I was expecting contact there, but he actually kept it quite nice and clean. Well done.
So while Brandon De Santos is fighting for Stephen, we do have Yanni who's starting to just lose a little bit of ground between himself and Stephen ahead of him. And there's still a nice battle happening between Louis and James as they now head down into the Brooklands. I'm going to start looking for the straight, the Wellington Straight. That's what it's called.
That's very, very brave.
But now back to the front, and Brandon Santos now unfortunately dropping down to 2nd place. Stephen out in front, and Ricky B 2.9 seconds is the gap between himself, and he's got Stephen starting to pull away.
Rudy is by far the quickest on the circuit at the moment. His last lap was a 56.5. The closest to that was a 59.1 from Rick. So Rudy is going to jump a lot of guys when the pit stop starts.
So we are on lap 8 of 22, and you can see that the sun has now come up, and this is where the guys with the soft tires are going to start having to start slowing down, just monitoring what they're doing, try and minimize that the locking up, and make sure that you've got the car pointed in the right direction before you start accelerating. Otherwise you start overheating those tires and it can absolutely destroy your race. So across the line, and they begin their 9th lap, and that is Louis chasing down Rafiki, because that is James. But we do have the actual Raf down in 14th place, who's a silverback. So Stephen just done a 156.8, so 0.3 off Rudy's current times. And Memo and Colin having an almighty battle here. Still, Memo has been stuck behind. Well, that's behind Dane, not Colin. So Colin's moved himself up, but Memo still trying to have a battle here with the two Dakel Racing. So Memo has a look to the inside, but that's going to put him on the outside now as he goes through the loop. Dane running.
With that back, he's running it very deep.
So he wasn't able to get that power down quick enough. But
and he spun.
Yeah, that's Dane losing the rear, coming out through Antry. That's a very strange place to lose it.
Rudy, well, I think he just got on the throttle too quickly and just spun out. I think Rudy would have been able to take him as well. Yeah, Rudy got past him as well.
So now the battle for 4th place, we've got Yanni. He's chasing down Pete. You can see Pete 157.8 for him, 0.4 of a second is Yanni's lap. But we'll see what the lap times are now when they cross the line to begin their 10th lap. So Pete 158.3, 157.7, so that's 0.6 of a second is the gain there for Yanni. So Pete's definitely going to be feeling this pressure for the next couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely. Let's just stay in the zone, not be distracted too much. The car chasing me down, and it should be alright.
And it did look like Yanni is still overdriving this car just a little bit. I saw on the brakes with him when he went into the village how that car was kind of just understeering a bit, and as soon as that car got slowed down you could just see it bite. You just got to slow it down, let the tires do the work for you. Trying to take that nice tight line. That's the line that I was using, and it definitely feels like it's a lot quicker through there. This is a very, very tricky place to go and have a look, because the car behind now going through Stowe definitely gets that understeer effect.
Well, if you can stay in the slip now, you should be in a good position in the hangar straight to maybe do the overtake on that side.
So let's just see, because through that is flat, then it's on the brakes down to fourth gear, then it quickly down into third, get that car up on the curb. So Stain, you can actually ride that curve quite aggressively, and it does help get the car around. And it does look like Pete has been able just to break the gap there just a little bit. So I wonder whether Yanni was just suffering a bit through there.
Yanni lost some front end grip going through that maggot Beckett section, and he just got out of touch. Fell out of the slip on the hangar straight.
You see a much tighter line as he now comes through club. So Stephen out in front now has now made a gap of just over or just under 4 seconds. Just over 4, just under. Bloody time keeps changing. So here we go. Here's an opportunity for Yanni, because now he's going to be close enough to get a slipstream advantage as they go down the Wellington Straight. And you can definitely go and have a late lunge on the inside and just ride that inside curb. And through Brooklands, you are able to take a lot of curb on the inside there. I wouldn't touch the inside curb here.
Yeah, a lot of guys try the undercut there, or the cutback there, but you do tend to sacrifice a bit of acceleration by running the tighter line there. So you've got a lot of guys trying the overtake on the inside of that corner.
Yeah, it doesn't always work, but now what's happened is that Brandon Dos Santos in second place. He's got both Pete and Yanni chasing him down, and the last thing that Brandon's going to want to be doing is just start looking at those mirrors. But that's a great exit there for Yanni. You can see how smooth he was out there, and just look how close he is. He might be able to get himself into position, but now Pete's also going to have the slipstream from Brandon in front of him, so this actually might not be an opportunity just yet.
No, not yet, yeah. But Yanni is running a little bit cleaner lines, so see what happens.
So just having a look at some of the comments that have been coming through. We see Johan VDB saying that was such a tough 2 laps. Oh dear. Johan, we did see that that first corner. Unfortunately, that car just not hooking up as Yanni tries to go around the outside. Can he try the cutback now between himself and Pete? But now Pete's going to have a better exit. But now it's going to be slipstream central.
Yeah, Pete ran a bit deep into village, which opened up the line for Yanni to take. But yeah, yucky for Pete, he got a better drive coming onto the straight.
So very, very close action here, and this is the battle for 3rd and 4th place. Are looking to say, Johan saying, thank heavens Nassif got confused and hit me head on as I came through Beckett's, I think it's called. Durkee has said Batman might come back when it's cold. So does it mean that he's running the softs? You can just see how much pressure Yanni is putting on. He is putting that car in places that is definitely going to make the driver in front of him very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of pressure, and I must say Pete is soaking it up very, very nicely at the moment. But now Yanni is on his rear end, and let's see what they're going to do into this.
So Yanni has to just brake and let him go. He's going to try the tighter inside line, but Pete's going to have the faster outside line there. And just look how close these times are. They're staying 157.4 for Brandon, 157.2 for Pete, and a 157.0. So 0.4 of a lap is what's separating these three drivers at this stage.
Yeah, the problem now is with these two guys battling. It gives Brandon a bit of a gap to just stay ahead. These two should just close up on him and then start battling for positions, because they're costing themselves more time now.
Definitely. And I am seeing Rudy 157.6 down in 9th place, so we know that he has pitted, but he's going to need to start going a little bit quicker, because he's basically doing very similar lap times as this pack, and if everyone's going the same speed, you're not going to be gaining.
He might be in traffic.
Great move there by Yanni. Has a late lunge onto the inside of Pete and has made that stick. Absolutely a great move. We did say that that is one of the ways that you're able to do it. He waited until Pete got on the brakes. He just moved himself to the inside and just rode that inside curb. A great move there.
Yeah, great move there. What I was saying is Rudy was running comfortable 56s. So it might just be either a little bit of traffic or he made a mistake running the 57. But I think he should run comfortable 56s when he's got clear air.
So Yanni,
I think he's got the fastest lap of the race so far with a 56.0, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, let's go have a look there. We are able to see that information. So fastest on the track currently, I suppose that I actually have to go down to Rudy, and Rudy 56.0, so that is 100% correct there, Stain. So he is currently the fastest man around here this evening, and Stephen, a 1 second penalty there for him, and Memo, a 1 second penalty there for him, down in 11th position. So while Yanni's got ahead of Pete, sorry, what was that?
I'll say that 1 second penalty, would that be coming from cutting a corner, or?
Yeah, so that's the track limits being abused, and what would happen is that if you do gain time having a run wide, the game does give you a warning, and if you don't slow down enough, it does add a penalty. But Brandon Dos Santos under a whole lot of pressure, because Pete has also been able to get that slipstream. And will we see that late lunge by Yanni, as we saw him on Pete, but Brandon sees him coming, closes that door. So Yanni has to just back off a little bit there.
Yeah, we'll see with Yanni getting past Pete, they closed up on Brandon very quickly.
But I did think that that Yanni would be able to pull away, but he's... little clip of the board there for Pete, and both Yanni and Pete going a little bit wide there, and I couldn't see Brandon. I thought he might have gone off, but then he just came back into the shot there further down the field.
Yeah, I think with Pete and Yanni running the curb, they got off the throttle, which allowed Brandon to just pull a little bit of a gap. So you can take a little bit of a breather until they come and they reel him in again.
So we are on lap 14 of 22, and the currently race leader. You could see Brandon's really pushing. He's just got himself a time penalty now as well. So he's given himself 1 second for his efforts. And that's what happens when you start watching your rearview mirrors. You miss a braking point, you run a little bit wide, but keep that foot planted, and it starts costing you later on.
When do you think the guys will start pitting, Dylan?
So it's actually quite varied. I couldn't believe that there were 3 guys for us that had pitted quite early, but now's about the right time because you kind of know whether you have enough fuel for the guys that are trying to push it to the limit, as well as your tires. There isn't going to be a tire change. The guys will just put 1 liter in, and that's the fastest pit stop. So from any time now should where it looks. From any time now is when they'll start going in.
Okay, well, Rudy's fighting his way back up. He's 9th at the moment. Number 7 is just pitting now.
Yanni riding the curb on the inside. Is he going to have enough speed around the outside here? But because it looks like that Brandon's holding that line, and it's going to be 2 wide now. In through Cops. They're going to go side by side. And we saw what happened there. There was
well done, guys.
Hamilton Verstappen incident, and this is how you do it, guys. Side by side through there, it can happen. But now, as we go through Maggots and Beckett's, and we could see that happening.
And I think Yanni's got lots of damage. I think he ran into the wall. If I'm not mistaken, he went off very quickly and went very deep.
Oh, that was Pete that went off there. Just trying to see. So he has taken a bit of front damage there. So Pete, we suggest that you go into the pits, get that damage repaired, and get yourself back in this fight. So Pete down in 5th, and that was very, very close.
Can we get an onboard on Pete? Let's just see if that car pulls. Because he's going to have top end at a disadvantage. I don't. Maybe the car is pulling to a side as well.
He has done so. It looked like it was just a little bit of aero damage, so that has now been fixed up. Just want to see where Rudy is.
He was 20 seconds stationary there, so they did repair the damage.
Oh, and as we jump on board, Rudy, he gets that rear very loose.
Nice recovery though.
Well, you know, the only way you're able to practice that recovery is if you keep doing it, right?
True that. He's got some practice.
So Pete is out ahead of Rudy. Currently, we know that Rudy was going quicker, but there's a 2:01 there for Rudy. 1:57.000 there for Steven. So he is out in front by just about 10 seconds away from Brandon Santos, who's in 2nd, and was able to fend off the likes of Yanni and Pete. And unfortunately, just a little bit of a touch there, and the guys coming short through just as they're going into Maggots. But now we've got Yanni on the inside of Ricky B. So Ricky B now down into 4th. So that was a great move there by Yanni. Yanni touching the grass. Ricky B having a look to the inside will say, "Thank you very much, sir. I will take that back." So great awareness there by Yanni. You saw that Ricky was coming, as was going to have a go, and Ricky did have the right sense of mind to see that he had made a mistake and said, "Well, let's just put the car there. I'm sure there's enough room, and take that place back." And that's the type of racing we want.
I'm loving this at the moment. There's not a lap. There's not something's not happening in the front here. That's awesome. These oaks are pushing each other very hard.
So guys, even though they might not be as fast as what you saw earlier on in the Alpha tier, it does not mean that the racing action is any less exciting, as Ricky just trying to find his a breaking point. But now Yanni, we've seen him do this move earlier, and he does seem to have it down completely.
Oh, and he goes back on the inside. Yeah, yeah, and he's got an edge on the front, so that was nicely done. And I think Yanni should be able to close up to Brandon quite quickly now.
So that's still 6 seconds is that gap there. So that is still quite a lot for him to go. And Stain, I do see that we got a visitor, France, who's actually raced with us before, but due to some internet connection challenges, hasn't really been able to do a full season with us. France, how are you this evening? I guess France is feeling shy. Sorry guys, we were going to hear from him. Maar Frans wil nie met ons praat nie. So Duncan, Dane and Colin all going to the pits. So there's only 5 laps left. So they've definitely left it a little bit late. But I say that, but I went into the pits with 5 laps left as well. So I wonder whether they were watching the Alpha stream earlier on and decided, let's follow that man.
Most likely. But I tend to think that the guys that stopped earlier gained the most in the first race. But that's also because half the field fell away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it might be a misinterpretation of what the best strategy might be.
Yeah, so my thinking was that as the race gets further on, everyone's kind of slowing down.
Oh, somebody was there in the grass.
That's
A blue car, maybe it was.
So that is James or... Oh, so James was in the pit, so it wasn't James. It does Duncan. James's teammate, that would make sense, because they're running the same livery.
Yes, yes.
So Ricky in 4th position, still trying to close down, and Brandon Dos Santos still has that 7-second gap between himself and Yanni.
Coming up to some back markers now.
Yeah, so I think that is Dane just getting himself out the way there. You'll see Dane will just slow down and ooh, maybe not.
Oh, doesn't he? Oh.
Oh, that's not Dane, apologies. Is that Colin then? So there's Colin there. You can see he's now moved out of the way.
Great stuff. And I see Ricky went into the pits, was it not? Or went into the pits
Yeah,
now?
there's Ricky B going into the pits, so we'll see where he drops down, which means that Pete's going to move himself a little bit higher up. Oh no, there's not. He's actually a little bit too far away. But after all the pit stops with Pete now being in 5th place, he has been able to recover some of that time. And you can see really still struggling because of 159.4. We would have needed to see a lot of consistent lap times in those 157s for him to move up the order.
Yeah, but I think he's getting to a point where he has to overtake cars, and that's definitely going to slow him down some.
So Ricky B now comes out in 4th place.
Not bad.
Pete is still in 5th position. Then we've got James in 6th place. Rudy, he is down in 7th place. Then Louis Lutz, he is in 8th place with Memo in 9th position. He is ahead of Colin. Colin in 10th place with Duncan in 11th. Then Raf, he is in 12th place with Dane down in 13th position.
I'm trying to think now. Rudy is quite on his own. He's 5 seconds behind Raf and 25 seconds ahead of...
So here comes our race leader, Stephen, into the pits. And I'm sure that this will just be a nice straightforward pit. Let him come out, because Yanni and Brandon Dos Santos, they still need to pit themselves. So as I say that, Brandon Dos Santos decides that, and now's the sign for him to come in. And you can see how Yanni understeered there, just coming a little bit too hot there.
Locked up the rear brakes a little bit, yeah. Got the car into a 4-wheel drift.
And that's not something you want to be doing so late in this race. Because all it does is just...
a little bit hard to regain some lost time at the moment. So he's definitely overdriving a little bit now.
You can see that Stephen is just under 3 seconds behind Yanni, who's technically our race leader, but because he hasn't pitted yet, Stephen is the provisional leader at this stage. Or not the provisional, he's the net leader, or the gross leader. What's the word I'm looking for?
Gross leader.
Brandon Santos in third place. He should be moving up. And I'm just looking at Yanni, just in terms of when he pits, is that I had 30 seconds on Christo when I did my pits. So he might slot in somewhere between, could it be a quicker pit stop between himself, get himself between Ricky B and Sly Pete? That would be a very, very interesting end to this race.
Well, it depends on damage. Christo had some damage when he went to the pits. So I think it's roughly about 20 seconds entering the pits to exiting the pits, if you don't have any damage.
Plus your stop of 6 seconds, right?
True, yeah.
So, well, thank you so much, Johnny. He obviously heard what we were saying to him, but now he's basically going to put us to the test. So let's see where he comes out. So that is Ricky B. So he was 26 seconds behind. So Steven now regains that top spot. Brandon Santos should be taking it from him as well. And you can just see one of the back markers getting out of the way there.
As for them, yeah. Good awareness from these back markers.
So Ricky now coming out of the veil. But where is Yanni? Is he moving yet, or has he stopped?
Yeah, he's moving. So I think he'll get ahead.
So here he comes, and here comes Ricky into turn number 1, and there's that was very close.
That's similar to you and Christo, I think.
100%. So it is going to be a bit of a race to the end now. 1 lap after this one to go, and can Ricky find something to dig deep and get himself ahead, as we see Raf in the back there taking the joker lap. You don't always have to take a joke lap, but there are some times when guys decide to do so. So they're going to cross the line with half a lap to go. Because that is that's the MotoGP start line.
Steven's got 11-second gap to Brandon, so you can just relax and cruise the line. And you've got Batman with another 10 seconds back.
Yeah, Yanni went a little bit deep there, which has allowed, you can just see that time between them, just closing up a little bit between Ricky B.
I think he should be fine. The gap is big enough. I think he's just not close enough to slip.
Well, you have a look to the inside, late lunge, and not close enough to do so. But Yanni goes very deep, a little rubbing his racing there.
Yeah, a good man. He tapped out when he made contact. Good sportsmanship.
Now into turn number 1, you can see how the suspension on that RS01 is working there. But it does look like Ricky is able to apply a little pressure, and as I say that, both Ricky and Yanni lock up those brakes and they do a little four-wheel drift. But now they need to be careful, because there's Sly Pete in 5th place, and I'm sure he'll be relishing at the opportunity to possibly sneak himself a podium here.
But is it just me? Oh no, he's got his lights on. Thought he was actually just riding the brakes there. But he's got his lights on.
So great a comeback there for Pete. Pity about the little contact earlier on, but he's definitely putting the hammer down now, showing these guys that he still wants to fight for this place.
You could be a fourth of Ricky here. He's pushing hard.
So as he comes through Stowe, they're going to now go through Maggots and Beckett's, and Pete putting so much pressure on the back of Ricky B. Will he be able to just get that car rotated enough and get himself in a straight line?
He lost too much front end through the corner.
It looked like Pete did understeer a little bit there as well, so he's not going to be able to get that car close enough to have a lunge. So the race is complete. Stephen has crossed the line, and there goes Pete. Late lunge there into Stone.
Wow.
But now,
Oh,
no! The car just snaps on him, going in a little bit too hot.
I think with the downshift locked up the rear axle and he lost the rear end there. Such unfortunate win.
So an absolute a great race there. Yanni is going to take that podium place. Third for him. Ricky B, a well-fought fourth place. Pete will then come home in a fifth place with James in a sixth. Rudy comes home in a seventh place. Memel, he's in eighth position with Louis. There goes Louis in ninth place, apologies. Colin down in 10th. It looked like he so had a little bit of a spin there, but that was going into the corner. Unless he has already finished his race. Duncan 11th place, Raf in 12th place, and then Dane in 13th position. Man oh man, what a crazy race.
So action all through.
So to the guys that are still on the stream, let us know what you thought of that race. We will be getting our podium winners into the lobby to come and chat to us. But absolutely fantastic racing, so close, so competitive, and that's exactly what we want.
It's pity for Dylan. He had such a good start and fell back to 7th. Unfortunate.
You mean Rudy?
Did I say Rudy?
You said Dylan.
Oh, sorry. Apologize.
No, all good. All good. Alright guys, we will be with you shortly. Just want to get the podium winners in the lobby, and we will get those interviews up and running shortly.
Like Peter, he's got a 10-second penalty there.
So that little 10-second penalty is unfortunately because of speeding into the pits.
Ooh.
So now we were able to drop that.
Sweet, thank you.
Bad race for me, but on to the next one.
Thank you for letting me pause.
Yeah, thanks there, Colin.
Sweet Dylan, lekker aan het man. Well done, allemaal.
Thanks everyone. Have a lucky one. Ciao, ciao.
Hey, Clem.
Right guys, we are just waiting for the other two drivers to come and join us in the lobby. Stephen, he is there ready and racing, but not racing, ready to go. A win there for you, Stephen.
Yeah, it was.
But not
Was
an
an
easy
awesome,
win.
awesome.
At the end it was easy, but to get there, man oh man, what a crazy race.
Yeah, it was very crazy. Because every time I tried to overtake, I would overtake someone and someone would spin out, and then I would have to give a position back, so I had to slow down. So, yeah, those two times that the guy spun out, I had to slow down and give position back. But pulled off the win, so that's all that matters.
Absolutely fantastic. And did you go with the softs or did you run the hards? I'm very interested to know.
I went with softs all around.
Yes, man. So we're actually wondering whether you were watching my example and whether that's what you went with.
No, I was watching you closely.
So did your setup originally have the hards on it?
No, had the softs
You were
on.
always going to run the softs.
Yeah, always gonna run the softs, no matter what.
So you actually played me for a fool, that's what you're saying.
No, I didn't play you for a fool.
Great racing there, Steven. Well done, dude.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it wasn't a easy one, but yes, the guys made me work for it. But yeah, it was.
First couple of laps were quite tense there in the front.
No, they were. When I saw Rudy making mistakes there, and then Batman, he also made a mistake. I was like, that's it. I have to go for it. And then I had to give position back, so I let Brandon in front of me, and then I just chased Brandon.
So actually, talking about Brandon, I see that he has joined us. Brandon Deutsch, man, oh man. So much pressure for you in the middle of that race. You had both Pete and Batman Yanni coming for you, but you were able to just keep it together and just let them make the mistakes, which allowed you to get yourself a second place.
Yeah, I actually noticed that they were making quite a few mistakes trying to get to me. So I knew if I just let them fight, I shouldn't have too much of an issue. But yeah, those guys were much quicker than me.
Now listen, take the place, run with it. Absolutely great battle. You can't ask for more. If you know that the two guys behind you are going faster and you see them go off, all you can go is wah wah wah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just shows you that pace doesn't always win a race. Consistency does.
Listen here, guys.
Take it. Just
Very well, Steven.
yeah, this man, I rid my socks off here.
No, it's
Like literally.
It absolutely awesome to watch. There were a few times, Stephen, we saw you just riding that curb, going through Stowe. Man,
Yes.
man, stay away from that thing, bro.
Man, you won't believe I wasn't so confident in that corner. I've never been confident in that corner, and then I was just like, you know what, just try and take it easy. I just saw the guys catch me a little bit, and then I hit through those S's, and then I was gone. The guys couldn't catch me through there. So yeah, so I backed off a little bit through there because I know when you lose the car through there, the tires heat up. Yeah, it's so. It was a risk that I took, and it paid off.
Absolutely awesome. Great win there for you. Guys, unfortunately, we don't have Yanni that's joined us. So we will be moving on quickly with the announcement that we have. So in front of me, I do have a list of some names. And those names are going to be randomly selected out of our random generator. What will then happen is that we will be doing a Bravo tier first in terms of the selection, and then we'll run a Alpha tier. Just keeping in mind that the Alpha tier does have the likes of the top three that are currently placed in the Thursday night Assetto Corsa League, as well as our Alpha winners for last season and the current positions of this current championship. So in terms of the first driver that is going to be selected, let's just get this randomizer going. So that is driver number 1, and that driver will be very happy to know that it is Rudy Bass who has been selected. So he is the first driver for the Bravo tier happening next week, Saturday. The kart is booked and ready for you, Rudy. We will be chatting a little bit later. Then quickly another number. Let's just select the number. It is generating. That is now number 6. Number 6 is Stephen Smith, you beauty.
Yeah.
So Stephen Smith, you'll be joining us as well. So there are still 4 drivers available for this prize. Let's just get there a last one. And the winner is driver number 3, which is Ricky B. So Rudy, Ricky, and Stephen Smith. Your names have been selected to drive in the F100 Endurance Series this coming Saturday at the Formula K racing track. I will be contacting you guys in the morning to make sure the details are shared. Let's move on to the Alpha tier. So there are currently 9 names that are in the box. So the first driver that will be picked, randomizer is a, hold on, let's go to select the, there we go. So now we've got all 9. Randomizer is going, and the first driver selected is driver number 7, and that is Gavpig. Gavpig, we're going to have a discussion. I know that you are currently out of country, but who knows? Let's see. Maybe we can get you here. I'll give you a shout in the morning. Let's get another number selected for the Alpha tier kart, and that driver is going. It is selecting a driver number 2, and that is Dirkie Quicksilver 73. So far, Gavpig and Dirkie, your names have been selected. Then the last draw, just reset the sort. Randomizer is a go. And the last number selected is driver number 8, which is Jakes Fatikaki. Your name has been selected. So the Bravo tier will be Rudy, Ricky B, and Steven. And the Alpha tier racing will be Dirkie, Gavpig, and Jakes. Gentlemen, we'll see you on Saturday at the Benoni racetrack. Yes, please.
Congrats, guys. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
So well done to those guys. As I mentioned, I will be calling you tomorrow, so we are able to just make those final arrangements and just see what everybody needs. But a big thank you to our sponsor, Deliver Your Parcel, who has allowed us to put this all together and allowing us to enter 2 teams for the final events of the year. It is going to be an absolute crack of a race day, as well as an absolute crack of a after party.
No, definitely. And a thank you to you, Dylan and SARCO. Without you guys, this opportunity would have never happened.
Only a pleasure. To you, Stanky, thank you so much for helping myself and Stephen in the commentary box. We always do appreciate it. And hopefully you're able to come and visit us at Formula K in Benoni next weekend.
I won't be able to make it, unfortunately, but thank you for having me, guys. It was absolutely brilliant racing, and it's actually fun to be part of the commentary team. Thanks, man.
Definitely. Thank you.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much till everyone, until we see you on a Thursday night. And all I can say is till then. Let me try that again. All I can say is until then, thanks for watching. See you then. Yos.
That's right.